It's a Sunday morning and the sun seeps through my friend's bedroom window and I take out my camera. We've just woken up and she's wearing her favourite pink underwear. We've been talking about having this shoot for a while, a shoot to capture her beauty in her own safe space, in her bedroom. Little did I know back then that this would be the start of my biggest photo project this far, and how it would lead me to dozens of inspiring, wise and gorgeous women. How it would lead to important conversations about body image and question my own perception of photography as a medium. This was the start of my project Women of My Generation. In January 2019, I got asked to have an exhibition in Brighton, in celebration of International Women's Day that year. I had previously collaborated with Brighton Women's Centre and showcased my work about domestic abuse, but this time I decided to create something new. Although the deadline was pretty tight with only 2 months to go, I knew that this was the perfect opportunity to exhibit work about the beauty of diversity and to question old-fashioned norms seen in the media. As it was January, social media and TV were filled with ads on how to lose weight the quickest way, how strong was the new skinny, and word healthy was obsessively used everywhere I looked. But what does the word healthy really mean? After I reached out on Instagram looking for women to take part, I was overwhelmed by how many people wanting to get involved. It was clear that I wasn't the only one longing for representation. Women from various backgrounds had had enough of being moulded into one stereotype of what it's like to be a woman in today's society. This resulted in me visiting at least 2 different households every weekend. Some of the girls I knew from before, but most of them were complete strangers. I found myself having incredibly personal conversations with people I'd never met before. I was amazed by Ace's courage to openly share her childhood story with a mum who locked her inside without food for 10 days. A mum and dad who suffered so badly from their own eating disorders that they projected these habits onto their little daughter. I was inspired by Alice's story about how she turned her diet blog into a self-accepting safe space for others, where she now has thousands of followers wanting to follow in her footsteps and do the same journey. I'm in awe of Bethany's attitude towards beauty norms and body hair, and I'm very proud of Alice Leviton for surviving anorexia nervosa, something that is incredibly hard. According to statistics from the NHS, eating disorders are responsible for more life loss than any other mental health condition. Anorexia and bulimia are the most known eating disorders, but as a result of a culture that equals health with muscles and bodybuilding, orthorexia nervosa is increasingly common, a condition where your life is controlled by over-exercising and a restricted diet. When I started this project, I knew that disordered eating was very common. Being a young woman myself, I know how much impact media has on body image. Years of conversation with my friends have taught me that. What I didn't know was how common it is for older generations to project their own eating disorders onto the younger generations. Be that parents, grandparents, school nurses or teachers. As little as one comment about someone's body can have severe consequences and stay forever. Another factor behind women's issues with their own bodies is the narrow role of womanhood. We're supposed to be quiet and nice, and are accused of being too emotional if we go outside this stereotype. Therefore, a lot of women turn their anger and sadness inwards. I met women who go through traumas, for example losing family members or are victims of sexual assault, who starts to restrict what they eat in a desperate attempt to control something in their life when they feel rejected by the outer world. We are told that we are too skinny or too fat. Our breasts are too small or too big. We are either too loud or too shy, too masculine or too feminine. This frustration often leads to eating disorders and a constant battle. When am I ever enough? Initially, I thought Women of My Generation was going to be merely a visual project, But after hearing all these women's stories, I felt a need to expand it and include audio interviews. For 6 months, I released a podcast episode every week, where I invited some of my models to talk about body image and one issue they picked that was related to their relationship with their bodies. After getting feedback from our listeners, I was once again reminded of how similar our experiences are, but how stigmatized it still is to talk about negative body image, especially if it's caused by a family member. We are moving in the right direction with more people speaking up and questioning companies who refuse to see the importance of diversity and providing representation. And I sincerely hope that we will once and for all move towards an inclusive world.